The glory days for Battlefield, man, they were just incredible. Whether it was Destruction in Bad Company 2, destroying the skyscrapers in Siege of Shanghai, the meat grinders on Operation Metro, the blimps crashing down in Battlefield 1. We really haven't had many multiplayer experiences that hit like Battlefield do. That's why they theme everything around only in Battlefield moments, but it's been a while. And at one point, the franchise, while it seemed unkillable, to me, it felt even better than Call of Duty in many ways after switching over to it. It never quite saw that same level of success. And then after the back-to-back disasters of Battlefield 5, and really more so 2042, the franchise has seemed on life support. And when it comes to Battlefield 6, if that's even what this is called at the time of recording, this may be DICE's last chance to save the franchise. In fact, for many people, the franchise is already dead. And apparently they're being very ambitious on this one. An estimated budget of $400 million and a goal of 100 million players. It's safe to say that if this game flops, it could be the last for Battlefield. Although realistically, in today's day and age, I think developers will continue to try and milk everything they can out of an IP, even if it takes years for them to try to rebuild from the ground up, which is, I think, what they're doing here. So join me as we hop in on some Battlefield 1, some classic gameplay. And a game that actually has seen quite a resurgence with the hype up into the new Battlefield coming. For everything you need to know about Battlefield 6. Here we go. This is what we need to do. I love that there's just even a server browser in this game. This is what we need to know for the next Battlefield. Are we going to get what we had in the past? Great map. I don't know if I want to start in the vehicle here. Oh, yeah. This window here. Lob the nades, boys! Take the objective! I don't even remember what my hotkeys were. The biggest controversy over the past couple weeks leading up to the launch of the game, we've seen a bunch of stuff obviously leaked through Battlefield Labs, and I'll talk on some of the leaks in a bit. I want to start with some of the more concrete information. Was Battlefield actually put a post out on open weapons versus closed weapons. So each class you play, whether it's support, assault, medic, historically has locked the weapons to whatever kind of balances it for that class. And I think most notably, when I really first started covering this content the most back in the day was in Battlefield Hardline. I did some Battlefield 3 and 4, but I went all out on Battlefield Hardline, and that was a game that a lot of people criticized for not having enough weapons, mainly because it was locked to the classes, and there weren't that many weapons comparatively, obviously not really being as military-focused as well. They posted out saying, why not both, right? If I'm sniping, I need to be locked to a sniper rifle. Of course, you have the secondary pistol, but you're not running around with a submachine gun. And their tweet said, basically, why not both? Starting at open beta, players can choose official playlists with signature weapons locked to classes or not. The idea that they've basically laid out is that if you are playing a sniper with the system that they're planning to implement into the game, then you would get things like having straight pull built into the weapon, faster rechambering if you're a sniper using an actual sniper rifle. You can still use the other weapons, but it's not going to be as great. I'm on fire. Back in the window. The victory window here. Let's get on the objective. Oh my gosh, we are flooring this other team. Yeah, and you know what was crazy about this too? If your team was dominating too hard, the other team would get a benefit. So that was like they would get the Zeppelin. I think this is the train that comes in, so they get to control a train that can devastate the map and help them kind of come back. I forgot about that. There it is. The train's coming in. Oh, I think it's got mortars coming off of it. Adios, medic. Especially from a lot of the classic Battlefield players, though, they want weapons to be locked to the actual classes. This is just historically how it's been, and it creates more trade-off and balance in the game. And their lead global community manager even put a post out saying that when we said we want to work with the community on things and turn it up a notch, we really did mean it. The ball isn't in any hands, in any side's hands. It's a shared one, and it's passed around. Doesn't hurt to listen, to respond, to talk things out. If we're able to, long may that continue. I think a big thing a lot of players have wanted to come back, I know myself included, has been the idea of Levolution, where the entire map changes, especially talking about Battlefield 4, where we saw some incredible ones. There is a question of what do they have up their sleeve this time, since it's been so long since 2042's even release. That not really having crazy Levolutions in it either, and clearly is not a marketing push that they're going for. Hardline had a couple big changes to it. Battlefield 1 had some, you know, big scale destruction per se. The graphics on this game still hold up so well, man. A lot of the Battlefield 1s do with the Frostbite engine. Oh! Let's see, I got the flare that I can throw up. So mark them on the map for me. There are quite a few down there on B.
Enemy machine gun sighted.
Got him. But the big thing that 2042 did was player count. They changed it to 64 versus 64. It was the biggest maps, the biggest player count in the all-out war that we've ever seen. These mortars are going to kill me. But bigger doesn't always mean better. They actually reverted a lot of those changes, even making the maps that they did have downscaled to 32v32, and that was how a lot of people just preferred to play. The extra scale really didn't seem worth it and wasn't paying off, on top of all the other problems that 2042 had. Scaling up the maps that big meant we got less maps. We didn't even have a campaign. There wasn't even a scoreboard when the game came out. I love that sound when you have the last bullet in the chamber, too. Oof. I think these older Battlefields 2, 3, 4, I mean, heck, most of the older ones have a much grittier vibe to them as well. Even the colors of 2042 just doesn't quite feel the same, even like the colors of the UI. Oh! Damn, did they just... He's trying to bayonet charge him. Hit him. The train blew. Yeah, remember you could bayonet spear him, put him in the ground? It's just... Ugh! Insane. And while a lot of people don't spend a ton of time replaying a campaign constantly, I do think it is really healthy for a game to have it, especially as an entry point for new players to have a good experience getting to grips with the controls and having some fun while they play, rather than, you know, it's great having bots to just practice on, but if you're just practicing to learn how to play in the first place, or to have your first experience, it's just not as great. And the Battlefield campaigns, while a lot of them are kind of short like a lot of the COD ones, they've been epic. It's been great, especially some of the modern-day creations that they had. I thought some of the Battlefield 5 campaigns were all right, some of those short missions, and even Battlefield 1, but I don't know, something else about the modern-day shooters that I think hits a more broad audience and is a great entry point. What's the confirmed information that we know so far? Well, it will be a modern setting. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and even from the leaked gameplay that's been all over TikTok for the last couple of months because of the Battlefield Labs that people just keep on posting. They're so excited about this. It definitely looks to be of the old Battlefield style. They have confirmed that there's multiple dev studios that are also working on this one, which is kind of how Call of Duty has been running their systems, is what they're going more so towards. Oh, I love this map vote, too. Here we go. Oh, this is a good map, though. Call of Duty obviously has, like, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, etc. Battlefield's main studio, DICE, is still going to be handling the multiplayer, core experience of it at least. Ripple Effect is creating an entirely new experience that we've heard them talk about, this grandiose scale. This is rumored to be a battle royale. They also, I guess, made the Portal experience in 2042, which, while it hasn't been crazy hype, this lets you make custom games similar to like Forge, although it doesn't have necessarily a map editor to my knowledge. You can make crazy rules, and they made a bunch of old games like Battlefield 3, 1942, etc., or whatever they did inside of 2042. I even made a zombie mode for this when the game first came out, but that had its own gigantic host of controversy and issues, which we could talk about another day. Criterion is co-developing the single-player campaign, also assisting with vehicles. Criterion are the legendary developers behind many racing games, Burnout, Need for Speed. Nonetheless, You heard me say how much money they're spending on this game. They have a lot of studios. They have more people working on this than really ever. Uh-oh. And at least for the last couple of months, they've been running Battlefield Labs, where a bunch of players have actually been in testing the game. To the community manager's point, they're really trying to work with the community on this one. I am getting absolutely obliterated. I think we need some more trench warfare. Getting people in to test it, from what the community manager had mentioned, they want this to be a community-first type of game. I can't believe there was horses in this game, dude. They also did confirm there will be a campaign this time. All the new modes, it is going to be available on PlayStation, Xbox, all the anticipated platforms. Flush them out with a nade. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Retreat. Can I heal my horse? Do I have a... Can I put a wrench up the horse? No, surely not. And there is a full reveal expected this summer, so should be soon. Oh, the health is regenning. The horse is feeling better, guys. It should be launching by March 2026, fiscal year window at least. And as I mentioned, EA has some massive ambitions with this. 100 million players, which we did talk about some leaks a couple weeks back. They theoretically are going to have this battle royale. It's going to compete like Warzone, be free to play, and we'll talk more about that. But that's the only way I see them pulling that amount of players in the game. Oh, that C4 horse. Yeah. They got us pinned in here pretty well. They want a Call of Duty / Fortnite level of game here. And to put that into perspective, that's 3 times the series' best-selling games. So it's a tall order. While Battlefield definitely has a very die-hard community, it's not as big as what you would probably think. Even when I switched to playing Battlefield back in the day from my channel, it was a game that I got a ton of hate for playing and switching over to. There was a massive rivalry between the games back in the day, and that's really not been the case for a long time now. This is one of the most expensive games ever, and is positioned to be one of EA's biggest shooter projects yet. More recently, some of you guys may be familiar with Apex Legends, which has been out for years now. I think a lot of people are looking for something new even on that front. And this is meant to live as a connected Battlefield universe. 2042 came out back in 2021, and the devs are actually correcting course. They want the early community input, earlier testing through labs. Classic class system is back, the specialist system that they switched to, where, you know, the old lady medic that everybody was running around as. Didn't quite hit. A couple months after the release, they actually changed the game back to a class-based system in 2042, although they still have, like, the specialists on them. And way more time has gone into development. Battlefield's usually, like, on a 2-year cycle, so they'll do every 2 years they would release a Battlefield game. We are looking at 5+ years of development for this one. Hopefully, they're focused on the polish and actually releasing a full, done, completed game. They have all the pieces and so much that people actually love, they just never put it together and launch it when it's done. Even with, like, Battlefield 4 when that came out, was very unpolished at launch and took a while to really reach the notoriety and love that people have for it. But in today's day and age, we need a solid first impression, especially for so many new players and the younger guys that have gotten into gaming that are, you know, probably going to look at this game when it comes out. Oh, hello. Woo! Showdown. Now let's talk a bit about some of the leaks. Starting with some of the actual gameplay, which I've seen a bit of. I will say I haven't watched a ton of it. Woo! From range before the head is off. Pre-alpha footage does look like destruction is huge. And even in the short teasers and clips that they have showed us, obviously I can't show anything here, but we've seen buildings collapsing in the streets. It looked like even the debris from those buildings on the ground remain and stay as cover. There's more advanced movement with tactical sprint, crouch sprinting, dive to prone, vaulting, and in Battlefield 1 here, it actually does keep your momentum. So if you jump and try and turn, Like, you still keep moving in the direction your momentum was going. But in older Battlefield, you would just, like, gazelle hop all around while being able to kind of counter-strafe in air, which was really weird. It does seem like, as well, and Battlefield's had pretty high-tech servers and, like, even allowed custom server browsing, which, I mean, they've had some decent servers for a while. It does look like it is a continued priority. Uh-oh. Kind of behind enemy lines here. But moving away from the specialists, seeing Sundance flying around everywhere with her wingsuit, does not seem like it is the way forward here. I'm suppressed right now, so my shots are just going haywire. According to GameSpot and VGC, there's been clips from labs leaking the final mission of the campaign even. While I'm not going to talk about any of that, it does suggest that there's going to be 8 different campaign missions in the game, covering Egypt, Tajikistan, the USA, Gibraltar. I believe Gibraltar was the first leak we saw for the Battle Royale side of things as well. The Battle Royale mode has been data mined assets that does look to verify what we saw rumored literally months ago at this point. Clips leaked of a Battle Royale style introduction to the game. Cinematics, helicopters, parachutes, loot zones, and apparently a California setting, which I think would actually be incredible. Even a system supposedly that allows players that are already dead to control cameras and still help on the battlefield in some way, which I don't know if that's akin to like Rainbow Six Siege. Obviously, cameras are incredibly helpful there. I don't know how impactful that would be on such a big map as you would anticipate for, you know, Battle Royale. Reportedly, it's planned to be a free-to-play, which they would kind of need if they want to pull as many players as they do want to pull. I think I have anti-vehicle rounds. Ooh, I do! I've also seen a lot of talks recently online of a beta that's coming in supposedly the next couple of weeks. A supposed reveal event that's coming, which, honestly, I'm just surprised we haven't seen anything yet. Typically, it's early June when we start seeing the information from Battlefield and EA Play, and we haven't seen any of that so far for this game, which does lead me to believe maybe this will be something that's going to be for next year even, like at the beginning in March. Although, typically, these games release in late October, early November, competing with Call of Duty for, you know, the Christmas window. Winter, everybody's inside, playing games, buying stuff for the new year. There was also strings referencing an open beta that were found in the Battlefield Labs builds. Betas always typically happen closer to the actual launch of the game, too. But that being said, if this does, say, come out in November, we're not that far away. And they've already had labs out and playable for so long that, you know, maybe it's at the state where it's ready for beta. There's also talks of a Portal 2.0, which, if they somehow could incorporate with the Battle Royale as well, oh my goodness, I am so excited for community games and what we could actually do. I've been dreaming of this from Warzone for so long, although I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to ruin my expectations if this isn't true. Nonetheless, Tom Henderson did report that Portal is expected to return. Ripple Effect is once again going to be leading its development. Tom Henderson has been a very credible leaker, even for some of the other information that's now turned out to be true for this very game. He notes that it will include deeper scripting tools, enhanced customization, and possibly limited mod support for community servers. Community servers have been very big for Battlefield in the past, even if it's just been limited to, like, meat locker grinders on certain maps. No vehicles, no explosives. But Portal even lets you have custom rule sets. Supposedly, the game is going to be officially titled Battlefield 6, although they haven't actually announced that yet. And according to Insider Gaming, apparently the show dates are the 29th to the 31st of July, which does align with multiple reports that the game's going to be revealed during a multi-day event, all accumulating on July 31st. One post even called it the COD Next style showcasing, that being Call of Duty's yearly announcement cycle where they fly in tons of creators. I've been to, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 of those even myself. And while the setups they have given us there have not really been that great, at least is a first chance for everybody to see the gameplay. Very well could be what we see here. And overall, the community sentiment from what I've seen, and overall, the community sentiment from at least what I've seen, people are still very cautious. They're saying, don't pre-order, don't pre-order. There's been so many times that, you know, they push the pre-order, then it comes out and it's not even done. And, you know, it's just been such a time and time again. People have been trained at this point, at least if they play the game. So I think they're trying to spread the word on that front. And, you know, makes sense. But I think there's also a sense of optimism from everything that we've been hearing. Labs, the focus on the community, the testing that they've done there, the amount of studios, teams, and money that they've poured into this. Everything that I've seen from the people who still play 2042 at least, they have made significant improvements to that game. Battlefield typically does do this, where they release a game that's not done, and then years later, it's in an incredible state and actually a really fun game to play. Heck, even playing Battlefield 1 right now, all these years later, like, this is solid. Look at how many people are in this game right now. Like, it's still got an audience. And I think there's so many people that are just fans of Battlefield that they're always going to go back to it, or at least check it out and see what it's about. I feel a similar thing even with Halo, which I've done a couple videos on recently, talking about Bungie and Marathon. And I think there's a massive opportunity right now with how much people hate Call of Duty. Granted, I still really enjoy it. I've been playing the hell out of it for years now, since Warzone came out. I honestly gave up on the multiplayer before that, but Battle Royale brought me back. I've been hooked on Battle Royales for so long. Tried even Operation Firestorm. We even went back and played that recently for a video. Battlefield's Battle Royale. Some of you guys may have never even heard of. They've already done a Battle Royale before. I just had a whole host of problems with it. But with Call of Duty essentially now turning into Fortnite, especially with some of the recent skins, the American Dad ones, the Beavis and Butthead ones, etc., people want a gritty war game again. And that's something that Battlefield has historically delivered, man. I mean, the gruesomeness of this game, the death, the screams, even the audio in this game, and in pretty much all the games, audio for Battlefield has always been incredible. Some people may not like all of the UI that's in the game, the Dorito, the pinging and showing icons over people's heads, but of course, even with Portal and the custom rule set, you can even turn those types of things off. But you need a good base game to even work with in the first place. And I think realistically, every single studio has its problems. Everything, you know, you can complain about. Nobody is doing it perfectly. And so that's why I do think there is even more so an opportunity here. But I don't know. You guys tell me. Have you been playing Battlefield? Are you interested in it? Have you been going back to some of the old games? Do you have a history with the game yourself? Is that what's going to get you interested in it? Are you waiting? Are you going to play the beta? I don't think there's a world where I ever miss any of the Battlefield games and what they at least attempt to do. I'll always be covering it. It's been too big of a part of my history and obviously even this channel history. That's, after all, where the commanding officer started. I'll definitely be checking out the beta once it's out. And I know I haven't been covering this a whole lot lately. I've been waiting for more of the information to actually come up, so we had some concrete things to talk about. I can't obviously show any of the leaked footage from the Battlefield labs that everybody's been posting online, although I do think it has died off a little bit in terms of what people have been posting. Maybe they've finally got a good clamp down on the people who've been leaking it all. My biggest hope is that they have incredible sniping gameplay and jets. That's what I want. I used to absolutely love that. That's what got me into it in the first place, back in Battlefield 3. I actually did a jet tutorial series. That was one of the first things that I ever did covering Battlefield back in the day. Hit him. But the sniping made Battlefield stand out because they used an actual ballistic system where you had to deal with lead and drop. That was not in Call of Duty until Black Ops 4 when Blackout came out, and honestly, slowly they started coming out with ground war maps that were taking over Battlefield. Like, Call of Duty has been doing a better job of Battlefield than Battlefield has in recent years, and that's just the craziest thing in the world to me. But I tell you what, I could definitely put a lot of hours into another incredible multiplayer shooter. I don't think if it was multiplayer alone, I could put more than, you know, 30, 40 or so But if we have a battle royale, it does interest me a lot. That I can put way more time into. I'm very interested in. I know they even tried to do like Hazard Zone with extraction shooter element, but that was so bad. I don't know. We recently played that for a video as well, and to my surprise, people are still playing it. But if Battlefield had the same level of resurgence of what Warzone did back in the day, I would be amazed. Right now, I think the biggest hope that I have for a game to really pop off is Arc Raiders. I'm very much deep into the extraction shooter rabbit hole. I've been loving it, and that game is looking extremely promising. I didn't even know that guy was alive for a second. I thought maybe it was just corpses rolling down the hill. And that one's a third-person shooter, though, and I do typically enjoy my first-persons to where I don't know how that's going to hit, but I'm definitely going to try it. I got a lot of videos planned for it, and if you guys want to see some more of the Battlefield coverage from myself in the lead-up to the new Battlefield, as well as, of course, once it's out, definitely let me know. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people back from the old-school days, maybe moved away from my content, maybe moved away from gaming as an entire whole. It's just, oh, my goodness. I think even when I miss, it still suppresses them. So that's why they start missing all their shots, because they're suppressed. Oh, sniper glint way out there. Oh, I love to. 183. That's how many meters away. And it gives you XP per meter away or whatever yard. I think it's meters. The target is. Gosh, that's good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching. That's for this one, Stoneman64, over and out.